Hello there, VIPs. Greetings again once more. It's your guy, Mr. Time from Time Engineering Academy here. Okay, so yesterday our tutorial stopped promptly because we there was a downpour, so I couldn't continue. It was raining, so it was affecting the recording, so I couldn't go on. Okay, so welcome and checking back on Time Engineering once more again. So we are going to dive straight into part 4 of our tutorial this today. And today I did mention yesterday I was going to show you how to create your own text, your own dimension styles, and always how to start a new page without you working on a single page all the time. Okay, you will not have to pack your drawings on a single platform environment to work with. So you should inculcate this habit of separating your work based on the different clients that you have, so that you wouldn't mistakenly delete a particular part and have to regret for a very long time. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how you can set your own page, and then you start working. You set your own dimension style, your text size and styles that you want for yourself, and then you get working. And again, somebody told me yesterday privately that I probably want to show how I offset the lines in AutoCAD. So I did not include AutoCAD into the tutorial, but anyway, since you want to see how I achieve this in AutoCAD, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I usually offset my line, change my line styles and things like that. Okay, so we are going to be working on just one of the floor plans. So since the same thing applies to all of it, I'm just going to show you quickly on one of the floor plan how I offset my mindset, my thinking about it and everything. Okay, so let's dive straight into it and see what we can do. So okay, I'm in AutoCAD and this is my environment, this is my working environment, and I want to show you how to define or set a particular text style that you want for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go under annotate and then go to text. On this text, you click on this little icon, arrow by the side. Okay, this little arrow here. So from here you can define your own text style that you want. Okay, so let me just click on new, and on this one I want to call it T01. Okay, that is my text style name. Okay, that is the style name that I want, and you see it appearing here. That is the current one that we're working with. Okay, so I want to change the font name. So the font name here, probably let's just say we want to use Time New Roman or something complicated, so that at the end of the day we should be able to differentiate it. Okay, so let's say this one for instance. No, I don't like it. So okay, this one, and then probably you see here it's only regular. We cannot make it italic, or we cannot bold it, something like that. Okay, I want to give a text height of 2 millimeters. Okay, 2 centimeters here. Okay, so remember that this is the same unit that you're going to use on all your text. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and set current. I don't want to add any effect or something on this text, so I just want to leave it simple and nice, so that simple and nice, readable, so that nobody will be confused on reading my plan. Okay, so I'm going to set current, and the current style has been modified. I say yes, then I will set current and then close. I was supposed to apply first. Okay, so if I go under text here, you see the current one that we have here is T001. Okay, so that is it with the font style that we choose. So I'm going to go straight into, I said before you go to your dimension management style, you can type D on your keyboard and you press enter. It can bring you here, right? You have the same interface with me here, or you click on this arrow here and then you come to management dimension style. You just click on it and you stay here. So the quick way to go about it is just typing D on your keyboard and pressing enter. So okay, so I want to start a new one here, and you want to give it a name. Let's say the name again is T00. Let me put 001 in this case. Now let's say you want to start with something, you want to start with a particular text style that you want, probably the one that have been, probably you're starting a new page and you don't have a particular text style. Okay, so you can start with standard, or you can start with annotative, right? So start with any of this one and you're still good to go. So you say continue. So once you hit on continue, you are going to have this interface where you have to start with line. Under line, I will urge you to choose everything by layer. Why by layer? Because if you change a particular color, if you change you can have your lines separated by color, by line type, by everything. So you don't have to go to property all the time to choose a particular color for your text. You can just come here and change the color, and it applies to all of the same layers that is having that name. Okay, so do well to change this one here by layer. Okay, so I want to go down here and then change my base extension point. Remember, we are using two, so I'm going to use two here too. And then you go back again. I say this is underline. Choose everything by layers you're seeing here. Okay, so I'll go back to my architecture. You want to choose the arrowhead that you want for your dimension. Okay, I like using architectural tick, so I will go with that one. And then again, I'm going to use my arrow size to be 2. Okay, so scale factor, you don't want to touch anything here. So I go back to this my text style here. I want to use the one that I want. So when you click on this arrow here, we're going to choose our own. We're going to choose the T01 that we created. Now we are just from creating. Okay, so click on T01, and then you see that the size of the text height is 2. So we're going to go here and check. So this is the only place where you can change it. You see this one is gray, you cannot type or change anything here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at 2. And then the font type here is the name here is that, so we're going to go with that one. Regular, we cannot change it. You cannot probably make it italic or bold it, so you're just going to leave it like that. So we'll set current, and then we close. So that is the current text style that we want. So this is it. We have choose from creating our text. So I'm going to go here, and then they say text placement. I explained this one yesterday. You can have it above, and it's always good to have it above. So the vertical direction should be above, and then this one should be centered, and then from left to right. Okay, so you use align with dimension style. Probably here I want to leave the text to be like 0.8 above the line, not point 0.8, yeah, 0.8 above the line. Okay, and then go to my primary unit. I want to change my precision to 2 decimal places since I'm working with meters. Okay, and then my decimal, you use decimal places, and then for precision for angular dimensions you want to leave it at 0. Okay, so that is it, and then you say okay. You see the particular text dimension style is here, T001. So I'm going to just hit set current. Remember to always set current, so that will be the current dimension that you're working with. Okay, so I'm going to set current and then close this one for now. So if I go to my dimension style and then I click and then I say dimension, that is it. So you see it appearing like that. I think it's nice. The arrow size is okay, and then you just start working with it. Okay, so that is it. And if I go to my text now, I want to include a particular text. Remember that under annotate already, I already have the text defined as T01. So if I come to home and then I want to add the text here, just click, drag, and then type something. Let me just say T again, and then that is the text. So what happened to this size of the text here? Okay, so you want to figure out what happened here. So I leave this one to you. What can you do to this one? Why is it that it's big and this one is small? Okay, so if you know why it's big, you just have to change. Tell me that in the comment section. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start a new drawing, and I show you how to offset all of this and then start something. So I'm just going to click on this plus icon here. I go to drawing 02, drawing 2, and this is my working environment. I did show you yesterday how to change your background, so I'll not be going back there. Go back to my video and you see how I changed my background. Okay, so I'm going to remove, I don't like working with this grid, so if something that you like working with, you can just allow it there. So I'm going to take out my grid and then take out this snap to grid, snap to drawing grid. So I don't want that because it will make my arrow to be flicking, right? So I want to take that one off, and then probably leave my orthogonal reference system, so it goes only in the X and Y direction. You don't want to make errors by drawing lines that will not be perfectly straight, vertical or horizontal. Okay, so you want to change that one. So okay, so I'm here now. I said the first thing you want to do is to change your drawing unit, and for you to go to have a perfect or easy way to go about it is just to press UN on your keyboard and then you press enter. Okay, so once you're here, you want to change the first to, let's say this is meta, And then the second one, you don't want to change the scale. Scale 1 is to 100 anyway. So I'm just going to apply. So you probably might want to change to a scale that you want to work with. So mine will be scale 1 is to 100. So I'll hit on apply, and they say resquare model space and paper space object, make all of it match the new unit. So I want to rescale both of them. They say rescale only model space only. So I want to work with the paper space and the model space at once. So I'm going to use this first option, okay? And then that is it. I just said okay. So my drawing is already in Meta, and I want to change a particular dimension style that I want. Okay, so I'll just click D on my keyboard, and then you see now, since I don't have, I have not import any drawing to this environment. I have just the standard dimension. Your own will be looking like this until you define a particular dimension style for your design. Okay, so you see mine is just simple, and I cannot just go ahead and work with it. So what I do usually when I'm starting a new drawing is that I want to copy the property from a previous drawing that I've done, okay, and so that I don't have to go again defining this. So I'll just copy one of the drawing, Control C on your keyboard, or you right click and say copy to clipboard. Okay, so it's Control C. So you see the shortcut Control C. I'm going to go to my drawing that and then paste it there. So you see that is it there. I'm going to go closer to my reference point. So that is it. So if I go to D again, you see now that I have two. This is the one that we are from defining, and this is my current one, dimension style that I use. So I'm going to click on this one and then just set current, and that is it. So I will not need to go again through the long process of setting another dimension style for my work. Okay, so this is it, simple and nice, and I will not want to take that time, so it saves you time on working. So I usually like working with my line weight on, so just click on this one here to see the different line weights and the colors that you want. Okay, so let's start a new drawing. So for you to start a new drawing in AutoCAD, probably want to start doing the same thing I've done here, creating my axis point for my work and then bringing my idea to life. Okay, so that when I export to Revit, I should know where to start right away. So if that is something that you like doing for your project, I always want to go with, what you do is that just come to layer and define your first layer. Okay, so you click on layer property and then you define a new layers here. So I say this is something, if it this is your first time coming on my channel and you see this a little bit confused, go back to my first video. I did show you how to create a layer for yourself and then you work with. So I'm just going to go here and say training axis. Okay, so just say training axis and then T axis. Oh, that's something that is already here already. So T axis 2, that could be training axis 2. Okay, so I want to change the color of that axis. Probably I like going with red. Okay, so I'll choose red, and then the line type I want to use center line. So I say if you don't have your line, a particular line that you want, so you can load it from here. So all the line from my previous project that I've imported that's going to be import to this drawing. Okay, so you just have it, you choose that one and then you tell it good to go, and then you want to choose the line weight. Okay, so the line weight is like how thick or how thin you want the line to be. So I'm going to go with 0.09. I don't want my axis line to be too print out when I have my final work in place. Okay, so I use 0.09 and that is it. Okay, so I'm done with that one. I want to define another layer again, so I'll probably click on it again and say column, right? Column, and I'll say column. I want to give the text color, the color to that layer to be let's use blue. No, we already have blue in our drawing. Can we use black? Okay, we can just go with black. We'll go with this one. I think it's not bad. Let's go with this one and I take okay. The line weight, I want it to be a continuous line, so I take the line style. I want it to be a type here, should be continuous, and the line weight here, I want something thicker. Okay, to represent my column, so I'm going to go 0.06, and then that is it. I just need this two layer to work with probably, or you might want to define another one for your staircase, right? To define your staircase, so I'm going to go another one and say staircase. So staircase, and then that is it. And I want to choose the color to that one to be something like black, like that. And then they should be continuous. The line weight here, I want to go 0.2, and then that is it. You're good to go. So I want to set my training one, axis two, probably the main layer that I want to work with. So I'll just double click on this one. Okay, just double click on this one. Something very important that you want to go with is your dimension. Okay, you probably want to choose a particular layer type for your dimension and the color. Okay, so this comes in effect when you already choose everything under your dimension style to be by layer, so you see the particular color appearing. Okay, so I'm going to go here and then just close this one, then start my drawing. Okay, so I'll start. You see my current layer is text axis 2, so I'm going to start with lines. You click on line and then you start drawing a vertical line and a horizontal line, so that you use but this line to offset. Okay, so this is explode, this is offset, so it might look different from different version. Okay, so but the symbols are always the same. So offset mean the same thing, is offsetting line. So you have trim, you have fillet and chamfer. So when you see this small arrow by the side, it means that there are other things that is incorporated to this icon here. Okay, so this is just AutoCAD. You have it, this AutoCAD architecture, because it comes with wall, doors and windows and slab stairs, and for you to just get your work going easily. Okay, you probably might want to use AutoCAD, just normal AutoCAD, but that is still fine. You're still going to have the same options, but now you will not have options of doors and windows and things like that with staircases, right? So I want to start offsetting this line. So I'm showing you just what I use and what works for me. Okay, so I'm going to go to offset. So my first dimension here was 7 meter. So I usually want to include the thickness of my wall to that, because I draw using center line. So if this is a center line, you want to include the thickness of your wall to that line. Okay, so in Cameroon we use the main block that we use for construction for elevation is 150 mm. Okay, so you want to include that. So I'm going to go to offset here, and then I'll type the dimension 7.15. So the width of that the shops there is 7.15, so I want it to be 7.15. I take okay, and then I'll just click on this line, go to the direction where I want to offset it. So that is as simple as that. So you just go to this direction, you click okay, and then I have this hallway here to be 4.5. So it's 4.5 plus 0.15, I have 4.65. So 4.65, enter. So I'm going to click on this line, extend it again. Remember I go have 7.15, so I'm just going to take that one like that, and then that is it. Okay, and now we want to start with the vertical, in the vertical direction, right? So we have the axis to be 5 meters, shops to be 7 by 5 meters. Okay, so I'm going to go to this offset again and take 5.15. okay, so I'm going to offset this to this. Probably I want to trim. Okay, so on trim here I can just trim like this, you understand? And there's a secret, some tips that I don't want to give you right away when you want to trim. Okay, if I want to trim here, or I want to remove this line completely, okay, I want to be left only with this one. I will not want to go and click and then be left with this one. Okay, so if I want to be left with just this segment here, what I will do is that I'll zoom until I'm not seeing the other segment, the other parts behind. So I'll click and delete. So when you see that is gone, so when it's out of your view, from the view environment, that one will disappear. Okay, so let me take that back again. If I want to trim this line, if I want to trim this line to just end here, probably if you want to be clicking on trim, you have to click 1 2. Okay, but there's a way to go about it. I can just come here and then click on trim, and that will zoom until I'm not seeing this other stop point here, the other break point of this line. So whatever is behind this one, no matter if it's 100 different division, it's just going to disappear. The line that is beyond that viewpoint is not going to be left out, so it's going to be deleted immediately as you click trim. Okay, so when I zoom out here, I click on this one, so I'm not seeing the other end point of the line. I just click here, the other one is gone. Okay, and see, while you're on trim, you can always hold down your shift button. It functions now like an extend, right? Like extend. So you see, you can just extend again. So you leave it is trim, it functional like trim, but if you hold down your shift button, it will work like extend. So that is a little trick for you to hold down with. Okay, so I'm going to go again and offset this. So I have my previous dimension was 5.15, so I'm going to go ahead and just offset that. So I have 1 2 3, so This is 3 here, and then that is it. And then let's say we have this dimension to be 7 meters. So probably let's say the lifter position here was the lifter was 170 by 1.8. I think that was a lifter capacity of 6 person. Was it 6 person? I'll check that in the next video and show you where I got this dimension from. Okay, and again, in a standard business center like this one, you probably want to, because the dimension here shows that the width of my staircase is point 1.5. Okay, probably want to go 1.8 to have the width of the staircase, right? So if I have to add point 0.6 to this dimension, so I'm going to be having 7.6. So I'm going to go here and increase that one to 7.6. Okay, so take okay, and then that is my space here for the staircase, the restroom, and the other, right? And then now I go back to so since the length of the building is about 30 meters, so it's necessary for you to always include an expansion joint. Okay, this is not usually common with architect. Okay, so they probably might not really get this in mind while working. So working as a structural engineer, also as a draftman or architect, it gives you this flexibility to be able to understand the structural functionality and also considering everything that you want to include in your drawing, right? So there's an expansion joint here. I'm going to be using a 5 millimeter polystyrene. So if you want to use a beam here, because there will be a beam that will be passing here, and the polystyrene will pass in between the beam, is going to separate the main structural element, and the structural element is going to be the columns and the column and the beam, okay, with the footing down there that you want to, with the slab. Okay, so that 5 millimeter comes only between the slab. So I'm going to be having a beam that run on this one, that the beam will be a width of 20, that is 200 mm. Okay, so 200 mm. So I have 5 again here, 5 millimeter, which will be the thickness of the polystyrene that one. Then we will also have another one of 0.03. Okay, 0.03. So I'm going to be using 0.05 in my case here. So I'm going to leave this space to be 0.05 so that the polystyrene will fit here. Okay, so I have to add now 20 plus that, so it gives me 25. So that will be the expansion. So I'm going to have 0.25. Okay, 0.25, you type enter, and then you extend the line going back to my 5.15 again. So I go up and then I go up, so I think 3 times, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just click hold down and then trim this one. So if I go this way, I cannot be able to trim it, so trim that, and then we are good to go. So since you want to also you want to position your columns right away, or probably we can come at this point here and include this. So there's a small extension here. I think this one was the protrusion for the toilet. So this part here is 1.6. So I'm just going to go and add this one right away. So 1.6, and then extend on this, click to this side, and then what I'll do is that I'll chamfer, right? So I'll click on this line, chamfer to this, and then click on this other one, chamfer to this one. On chamfering again, I'm chamfering with an angle of 0. Okay, you can also chamfer by having a particular slope. So when I click on chamfer, I want it to have a certain distance, right? I'll just click on distance and then I'll type the distance. Let's say for instance I want it to be 0.5. I want it to have a slopey line, right? So when I take that one, I click on chamfer, you see what happened here, right? So that is 0.5. That is a chamfer of 0.5. So in this case, I don't want to chamfer my line to have that beveling there. So I just want to reduce this one. I want to take it back to 0 and then take OK. So there's no chamfering distance there. So I'll take it back there. And then once we are here again, we want to include this staircase position here. So we have 1.875. So you have to add that to have the first flight. So I'm going to go down here and include it. So 1.875. So I'm including half of the thickness of the wall to it. That is 15 divided by 2 is 0.075, right? So I'm going to take this one here, and then I include my, let's say from the center line of this one. So let's try to measure out the center line to this Okay, so this is the center line. So from here to here is 1.70. So where we're adding point 0.3 there, so it means from here to there is going to be 2 meters. So I was supposed to just take 2 meters anyway, so that I have the wall acting there. So I'm going to have 2 meters. I have 2 meters here. So since they are both from different direction, I'm going to have the same 2 meter this way. So we don't have both of the lifter facing each other directly. Okay, so that is one of the reason why you see them not really facing each other. So you can claim on either direction. That is something to check out. It's just for traffic reason. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and include this the width of this is 170. So I think this 170, and if you want to take from the center line again of this one, this is it here. So I'm going to check out this one. So it gives 195, right? So you're just adding 170 plus 0.25. That the thickness of this I think this lifter is going to be 0.25. Okay, so that's 250 mm. So I'm going to go here and just take 1.95. Okay, so click on this one, extend this way. Probably when you click on this one, you're going to give a little bit kind of messy here. So let me just take out this one for now, and then this will be, I'll go back again and click on 2 meters. So you give me the other flight for the staircase. So this space that is left here is the entrance to to the restroom. Okay, so let me just trim these ones and take out this one here. So as I said again before, now for you to trim and you don't want to be doing double trimming, like I think this one is difficult to zoom out. Okay, so let me just take out this one and then delete the other ones. Okay, so this is the position for my lifter. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to include this dimension here. I'm going to be including this dimension here. So let's see the center line of this again, which is the center line running from the staircase here. Okay, so I'm going to have this other dimension here, which is I think if it's 1.85 plus 0.25, how many is that? So let's see. So we have dimension, then take this one to this one, 2.1. Okay, so I'm going to be having 2.1 here. So I'm just going to click and say 2.1, take enter, and then click from this one. So I want to delete this again. So see how many segments you want to be deleting one by one. So I'm just going to zoom out here and then take out this one. I've even taken out this one. So wait a bit, let me zoom out well. So I want to zoom out here and take out this one. So you see everything is gone. I want to zoom out here again and take out this one. So everything here disappears. So that is something that you want to always want to check out. Okay, so this one, so I'm going to zoom in, take out this one, and then take out this one. Okay, so this is my lifter position. I want to use a wall to just highlight that right away. So on my wall, you see the thickness is 0.25, so you can always change your thickness. You give it a height. Okay, so in this case it's not actually a 3D presentation that we are doing, so you can leave the height to be 0.6, whatever height that you want to go with. The main problem here is the thickness that we are going with. Okay, so I'm just going to click, and then since I'm using by the center line, okay, remember I say I'm using by the baseline, justify its baseline. Okay, so center line for me there is what I want for the thickness of my shaft, the wall of my lifter. Okay, so that is it. And then from this line again, we want to extend 2 meters, right? So 2 meters from here, we'll take out this line. So it gives me 1.8. So I'm going to extend this one this way and then extend this one the other way, right? So I think we are just going to stop here today, and so we don't have a very long tutorial, right? So since most of you guys want to see how it's being done in AutoCAD from scratch, so I'm going to stop here today, and then let's give it a name, AutoCAD file, right? So I'll just create a folder called YouTube beginner training. So YouTube 001 training, right? So take that one there and then give it the same name, YouTube 001 training. So just hit save, and then that is it. So you see the name here, YouTube 001, and the same name is here again. So that is it, and we can just stop our tutorial. So please do well to share my tutorial to your friends so that we can grow the channel together. Remember, our objective is to be able to have a community where we share ideas and impact the world, right? So on our channel, we are training by the real life project so that you just have to kickstart your career right away without necessarily wasting times on the unnecessary things that you don't want. Okay, so that is it. If you like what I'm doing, why don't you just give me a like, click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, share with your friend, and leave a comment on something probably you want us to talk on, okay, in the next tutorial. So I remain your guy again, Mr. Time from Time Engineer Academy.